All right, week 6. Week 6 was a very important week. I knew it was going to be an important week because, one, it's called Recovering a Sense of Abundance. And the summary says, this week you tackle a major creative block, money. That was like the only thing I needed to read to know that this was going to be an important week, because money is probably my single biggest creative block initiator. And I believe that's because growing up, my parents, or rather my father, art was never looked at as a way to make money. And definitely not a way to make really good money, even though you can, and even though I believe I will. It has always been something that I've struggled with and had to fight to believe, because of how I was raised and society and all the starving artists everywhere and all the starving artists that are proud of being starving artists. That pisses me off too. But the more you see that shit, the more you question whether it's possible for you to be an artist and have abundance and wealth as well. Even though there's examples of those artists, like, billionaires in the music industry who are artists. But it's like, sometimes, obviously, it's just tough. It's just tough believing in yourself sometimes when it comes up to that. It's like, what do I have to do to reach that level? Because one thing about me is I really, really care about wealth. I'm not one of those people who is like, oh, I don't care to be a millionaire, or I just need enough money to be happy. That's not my motive. I want a lot of money because, for a multitude of reasons, but I want to live an abundant life, and health is one of my main priorities. And I don't even believe that you can truly live a healthy life without wealth. Like, wealth and health, they rhyme for a reason. All right. So, recovering a sense of abundance. This week we tackle a major creative block, money. That was very exciting for me to read because money is my major creative block. It makes me move in a way that basically, it's like it makes me move in this like 1 foot in, 1 foot out mentality, because my subconscious doesn't fully believe in my ability to create an abundance of wealth through art. And so it makes me do all these other things that don't necessarily align with my creative vision, like getting corporate jobs and doing all this extra nonsense, even though there's a lot of things that I can do as an entrepreneur and as an artist to not only like grow my creativity, but grow my wealth as well. But the thing is, it's not as straightforward, right? The education system didn't teach us how to be entrepreneurs, so we kind of have to figure that out ourselves. Not to mention, they also did a lot to squander our creativity and teach us that art, and program within us that art cannot make you wealthy. So there's a lot of deprogramming that you have to do. And while you're doing that, you're going to be making a lot of mistakes that are due to that programming. So it was an exciting chapter for me. It was an interesting week for me. So I'm going to read some of the passages that I highlighted while reading this chapter, and I'm also going to talk about why this week was interesting. So let's see. This week in your morning pages, write about the God you believe in and the God you would like to believe in. I'm probably going to write about that more this week. I didn't write about that much, and I didn't even honestly didn't do my morning pages that much, but I'll have more time to do that this week. And many of us, this is another quote, many of us equate difficulty with virtue and art with fooling around. That is like big, because when things are hard and basically undesirable, there's something about it. It's like we've been programmed to believe that is good. And sometimes it is good, because like we all have to go through pain in order to get to pleasure, right? You have to suffer in the gym before you develop a nice physique. Like, that's just how it goes. But that doesn't equate to every area of life. Like, every single thing does not have to be difficult just for it to be a good thing. And that's what I've been learning recently, because I'm like, between like the David Goggins and like Alex Hormozy and like all these influencers and people, and just like the way that society raises us as well, it's so easy to feel like everything is supposed to be hard, and it subconsciously makes you make things that are easy hard, just to make it hard, making life harder for yourself. A terrible job must be building our moral fiber, is what Julia wrote in this book. Something, a talent for painting, say, that comes to us easily and seems compatible with us, must be some sort of cheap trick, or something that's just not as important because it's easy, right? This was another one. Remember, you are the cheapskate, not God. As you expect God to be more generous, God will be able to be more generous. God will be able to be more generous to you. I highlighted that because one of the reasons why I said I want to write about the God I believe in and the God that I would like to believe in is because even though I believe in God, I don't necessarily fully believe that God is so invested in my human desires. It's hard to believe that sometimes, because of the fact that my reality does not reflect that, or my reality has not reflected that over time. And I've seen things and I've experienced things, and my reality rarely, and maybe it's because I'm not tuned into it, or I wasn't tuned into those frequencies in the past, but my reality doesn't always show me, it doesn't always feel like God is invested in my desires. And so because of that, I've always felt like I'm the one who needs to make them happen. God is not really sweating that. Like, God has bigger shit to do. So, but I would love to actually believe that, because like I said, part of me still believes that God is on my side, but it doesn't always feel that way. So, but like I said, I feel like that part of that is because maybe I'm just not tuned into that frequency, right? And so with this artist recovery, with this creative recovery, I have been practicing that mindset that maybe God is on my side, and maybe I should be looking out for the opportunities that he's presenting to me. So another part that I highlighted is we will see how our ideas about money, in parentheses, it's hard to get. You have to work long hours for it. You need to worry about money first, creativity second. These are all things that I have subconsciously believed it's hard to get, because I've never had an easy time making money. You have to work long hours for it. Again, I've never not worked long hours for it. Well, I've seen glimpses of like, okay, just making way more money for my time in this entrepreneur space, but like there haven't been enough opportunities like that to actually, like oil the gears of the lifestyle. So, and then you need to worry about money first and creativity second. That's a subconscious belief. I wouldn't actually say that I believe that consciously, but my subconscious has moved me to act like I believe that way. So that means I subconsciously think that way sometimes. And these shape our ideas. She says that these ideas about money shape our ideas about creativity. All right, so all too often we become blocked and blame it on our lack of money. This is never an authentic block. I highlighted this because it was interesting, because I feel like it's very easy to get blocked by a lack of money, and it's hard. And she says this is never, and like never in italics, meaning this is never an authentic block. And I'm like, that shit feel real authentic to me, because it's like when you don't got no money coming in, it's very hard to be like, oh, I have a great idea for a song. Like it's just hard, because you know that there's a high chance you're gonna make that song, you're gonna put it out, and it's not gonna do anything. It's probably gonna generate like 0.0003 cents from per stream from Spotify, and you're still not gonna be able to pay the rent. So it's, for me, I highlighted that because I'm just like, for real though. I'm opening my mind to why you're saying that, but the lack of money is a creative block, and I don't really feel like, I don't see how that's not authentic. The actual block, okay, and then the follow-up statement is the actual block is our feeling of constriction, our sense of powerlessness. Art requires us to empower ourselves with choice. At the most basic level, this means choosing to do self-care. And I was just like, okay, like trying to understand what you mean, but again, lack of money is tough. It's hard to think about anything when you're afraid for your livelihood. When we put a stopper on our capacity for joy by anorectically declining the small gifts of life, we turn aside the larger gifts as well. I highlighted this because I want to pay more attention to when I'm being given something by God. I feel like sometimes we get gifts from God every day, but because we're so focused on what we don't have yet, we don't even realize them. So that's why I highlighted that. Serious art is born from serious play. There's also a counting exercise. For the next week, you will be discovering how you spend your money. Buy a small pocket notepad and write down every nickel you spend. It doesn't matter what it's for, how tiny the purchase, what petty cash is still cash. This just sounds like a budgeting exercise, and I mean, I kind of already do that. I won't lie. I fell off of my budgeting for like maybe 2 to 3 months when I downloaded Rocket Money, who does it for me. But yeah, it's just interesting that she's just telling me to budget, because I already do that. But this is an exercise in self-observation, not self-flagellation. And then there was this money exercises where we had to write basically what our thoughts about money were. I felt like some of the questions were ridiculous, but I did them all anyway. And yeah, so there's tasks, there's check-ins. The check-in is just always like, okay, how did the week go? And one of the tasks was called prosperity, and it said, were there any changes in your financial situation or your perspective on it? And yes, there was a big change in my financial situation this week. And it wasn't because basically your boy got fired. And I'm not even gonna go down the rabbit hole as to everything that went down, maybe in a later video. But I genuinely, like, sometimes, like, when you're not where you're supposed to be, you're kind of just set up to fail. Because I genuinely believe that I was not put in a position to succeed on that job. And that's okay, because for all of this, for this whole year, even past the year, I mean, even before this new year, I've been like literally praying, like, and for answers on how to figure out what I'm trying to figure out about my life, how to get to the next level when it comes up to my creative endeavors, how to do so, just how to do it, because this job made it very difficult to do it with all the time I had to spend there, all the energy I had to spend there. And I was doing my best, trying to use the job to pay the bills, do what I had to do there, and then also use my excess time. Excess is overstatement, but use my extra time and resources and energy to really put the pedal to the metal when it comes up to my creative endeavors. And it just wasn't working. It was too difficult. And so I kept I got to the point where I realized that I didn't know what to do. I didn't know how to do it. And so that's when I kind of relinquished control, and I just asked the great creator for answers. And this was the answer that I was given. So it's an uncomfortable place to be. But now I do feel like I have more clarity and I have more time to figure out to do the things that I know that I need to do. And I'm just looking out for more synchronicity to validate the fact that that was God at work in letting me go from my job. So yeah. And that was week 6. Recovering a sense of abundance was the was the title of the chapter. And ironically, I lost a big percentage of my income this week. So yeah, I'm gonna see how that plays out. But all right, peace. See y'all for week 7.